Yo, welcome to week number 3. It is going to be a lot sadder with you doing your work on your own versus coming and visiting with me, but we're going to make this happen. So, congratulations, you have graduated into butt work. You've gone from the core, chest to butt. So you've gone from the abs that we've been really concentrating on. Now we're going to introduce a little bit of glutes in there. The stronger your butt is, the thicker we can make your butt, the more cushion you're going to have to hold up that heavy old belt that you got. But I understand that as of right now, the glutes may not be as big as you want. So you're going to have to start eating that a lot more. Protein, Vicki. Number 2 is we're going to stick with those bigger numbers because the glutes require a lot of volume to grow. So we're not going completely glutes focused this week. We are going to have still a lot more abs and lower back work in there, core work, if you will. But we are going to throw in some butt stuff in there. And I know you giggled on that one. But we're still not going to do any real big contorting. I do have one deadlift in there for you, but it's a deadlift variation that really shouldn't cause you to lean over too much. So we are still going to keep that neutral spine, no kettlebell swings or anything like that for now. Once again, we're still going to wait. This is the biggest test to date as to how your back is going to handle it. So you gotta be honest with me about how you're doing as far as your back. I'm going to check in with you after every single workout. First one we got for you today, we're going to be in a plank position, single arm plank. I got my cushion here because I'm a big wuss and I don't want my elbow to hurt on the ground. Dumbbell, push and pull, okay? So we're getting in that plank position, one hand resting on the dumbbell, one hand in that solid plank on your forearm. Wider your feet are, more stability you're gonna have. You're gonna take that dumbbell, push as far as you can, pull it on back to the starting position. Push as far as you can, wait for about a half a second out here, bring it back so you're not rapid fire, just going in and out. You want to make sure you pause for that half second, fully extended, to make sure you get full tension. And then as you start to pull back, your core is already going to have that full contraction. So when you pull back, you are going to get maximum benefits out of this bad boy. I believe you did tell me that you had access to a landmine at your gym or one of the 8 different gyms you have access to. If you don't, I know for sure you got access to a barbell, and there's a corner in that gym that you can stick that barbell into. So here we are going to do a Z-sit landmine press. So Z-sit means we're going to have our legs spread, trying to keep them as flat as possible. So the back of your knees should be against the ground if possible. I know those hamstrings might be a little tight on you, but for now we're going to try and get there as much as we can. Bring that landmine up right at your chest, kind of almost right at the base of your neck. And we're just going to sit up nice and tall. And you're going to tighten those abs and press right back down. Tighten those abs, press. Feel free to pause right here. Try not to rest it on your chest. Try and keep it off just a little bit. So those biceps are always burning, trying to hold it up in that goblet position. And your core is always super tight. But make sure right before you press, you tighten and then exhale hard as you press. That hard exhale is also going to help contract those abs, and it's really going to help you not only press the weight up, but it's going to help you get maximum benefit from it again. And hey, that's what we're all about. I know we kind of touched on this one when you were here with me, where we were in the side plank and you were lifting, kind of that lateral raise. This time you're going to be in the side plank and you're going to be rolling it straight in. Bands work just fine for this one, but truthfully, If you have a cable machine, that's gonna work 100 times better. So get the cable machine, set the setting down to like the third or fourth one from the bottom so that the cable's not all the way down, you're not pulling up, but it's nice and on level so you're pulling straight across. But I don't have a cable machine, so I'm gonna go ahead and just show you. So we're gonna get in that side plank right here. I know I'm a little off screen, but I want you to see the cable or the band more than anything. Hips up, and you're just gonna row it in, try and hold it. You're gonna roll right to your ribs. Try and hold it there for a quick second before you go ahead and you let it go nice and slowly. And again, excuse me, if you are using the cables, make sure that you're far enough away from the cable so that when you go in, the weight's not accidentally hitting itself and you don't lose tension. You want to make sure that you keep tension the entire time. So nice and slow, and then bring it back out. So the band doesn't offer you that, since the elasticity is always tight, you're always in constant tension. So make sure that cable's the same way for you. Gonna start things out simple when it comes to the glute work. So Swiss ball, if you don't have a ball, you can use a bench. Ball is better because it's gonna throw a little instability in there, and it's gonna make those hamstrings and glutes work a little bit harder. But again, if you need a bench, that's fine too. Then just maybe put some more weight on your waist while you're doing it. But with the ball, if you haven't done this in a while, and I don't think you have, don't worry about the weight right off the bat. So flat feet on the ball, hands, wider your hands, the more stable you're gonna be. So the more in, the harder it's gonna be. And you're just gonna push those hips all the way up and nice and slowly go down. When you go up, when you get to that highest point, hold it for about 2 seconds before you come back down. The hold, your hamstrings and your butt, they love that isometric hold at the top. So make sure you do that for that 2-second count. This one you're going to 15, all right? And it's only one side, obviously. If you want to add a little bit of weight to it, I have a sandbag. You can put that on your waist. You can put a barbell on your waist, or like I said earlier, if you haven't done these in a while, go ahead and get the first round out, just body weight style, see how you do from there. If you're gonna put something on your waist, make sure it's on your waist and not your belly, and hold on to it so it doesn't roll at your face. But hips all the way up again, all the way down. Nice and controlled, keeping that 2-second count. Here we have a rollout, okay? So, knees on a nice pad, so you're not hurting yourself. Now I have 2 different options here. I have separate handles, or wheelies that I like to call them. I like to use those, all right? And make sure my shoulders, it throws a little bit of instability in things, and I like a little bit of instability because it makes my body and my muscles work a little harder, and it helps my mind-muscle connectivity, all right? But if you don't have them, and you have access to an ab wheel, which most gyms do, this is perfectly fine too, especially because this is probably an exercise you haven't done in a little while. So, whichever one you're doing, remember, you're working with your hips. So here, as we roll out, I'm not putting a ton of pressure on it. I'm just nice and easy. I'm gonna roll them out. And then my body will automatically create the pressure as I get out. Once you get out as far as you can, I want you to try and hold it for 2 seconds. And then your hips will pull back. Pull back with your butt. Do not round your back and pull back. So again, we're just, see that nice flat back, and then my hips are gonna pull myself back. I'm gonna lead with my butt to pull myself back. That should ensure that you keep that spine nice and straight, and you should feel all the tension right in the front of your core, right in your abs. Yes, you'll feel a little bit in your shoulders and your triceps, but you shouldn't feel anything in your lower back. If you do, that means that you're arching your back, and as you go down, you're kind of going like this. So I'll show you. So as you go down, a lot of people might go like this. And if they're doing that, they're gonna feel a ton of pressure in their lower back because they're basically using it like a slingshot. Easiest way to make sure that doesn't happen, before you start to roll out, squeeze your butt. Squeeze as hard as you can. And if your butt stays squeezed the entire time, it's impossible to arch your back. And then pull yourself on back with those hips. But remember, biggest thing for you, this is gonna be a big test for you. Make sure that back is not arching at any moment. So make sure all the pressure is staying right in the front. Right, here we go. Time to work on that rear. So here we have Bulgarian split squats, which means that the rear foot is elevated. Okay, we've done them before. It's been quite some time. Now, in order to focus on the glutes a little bit more when we're doing them, so I'm just gonna go ahead, I have my box here. Whatever leg is planted, that's the dumbbell, that's the side you're gonna hold the dumbbell in. So my left leg is gonna be planted, right leg back. Now, I am going to lean forward a little bit. My weight is still on this heel, but I'm leaning forward a bit, and I'm just gonna go down. I'm always on my heel. Oh, there we go, off balance. Don't do these in slow motion. Bringing me to my next point, if you need, have something right next to you that you can kind of put a couple fingertips on for balance. You don't want to put your whole hand and push on it, but just a little bit of balance help is gonna help you out a ton when it comes to this thing, because it's gonna allow you to keep going. So you go up, and see how I don't necessarily lock out all the way? Okay, but this is a big number, Vicki. I got you doing 15 of these bad boys. Oh, I'm sorry, ooh, even better, 20. I got you doing 20 of these bad boys. So you really gotta hammer it out. Now, if you can't get all 20 at once, that's perfectly fine. If you get, let's say, 10, 11, 12, put the weight down, get back on both legs, kind of shake your legs out a little bit, wait for about 15, 20 seconds, hop right back up there and get the last remaining whatever you need to do to get 20, all right? You're only doing 2 rounds on each leg, so it's not gonna be that hard. Well, that's not true, it will be hard, but it's not gonna be that daunting because it's only 2 rounds. So once you get that first round done, mentally speaking, you know you only got 1 more to go. I believe in you, Vicki. I always thought I had a pretty good setup here in the garage gym, but as I was coming up with this workout plan for you, I really wanted you to do this specific exercise, and I realized I don't have the correct setup for this. So I had to kind of jimmy rig this a little bit to show you. So it is a sumo deadlift, but I want you to work from a deficit. So it allows you to get down that weight, get down a little bit deeper. Kettlebell is gonna be the best if you have access to those. If you don't, a dumbbell will be just fine. It's just gonna be a little bit harder to grab because the kettlebell obviously stands up with the handle up top, whereas the dumbbell, you're gonna have to baseball grip it. So I'm gonna have 1 foot on my box and 1 foot on my bench to show you. You don't need a huge deficit. A lot of times people will use the steps from the Gravitron or the assisted dip machine. If you have one of those, that will work just fine. Put the bench all the way down or flip it up if you can to get it out of your way and use those. Or just a couple blocks that get you 6 inches off the ground, all right? You do not have to be super high. I'm 12 inches off the ground on this bench. Again, that's a little much, especially for the range of motion that we want you working with. So you do not have to be that super high. If you have a couple of those step boxes like I have in the back, and you want to use those should work just fine for you. But for me, right now, I'm gonna get on here and hope that these things don't collapse on me. Now, my weight's under me, obviously. So this is not it, don't do this. All right, I wanna start up top. This is why you don't wanna be at a huge deficit, because then you have to round over to get it. As I go down, I'm gonna try and keep my chest puffed up as much as possible, and I'm just gonna stick my butt out. Now I want my feet relatively wide, maybe a little bit wider than a normal deadlift. And you see how the weight can get all the way down there now? Now it's nothing but my butt and my hamstrings working. And I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna stop about right here. I don't wanna lock all the way out, because if you lock out, then your hips start to take over and your back starts to take over. So I wanna come up about 3/4 of the way and then drop myself right back down. So I'm going down all the way, up 3/4 of the way. Constant tension in your butt. And then, I don't know how your gym is about dropping weights, but if you need to, go ahead. This is gonna be a big number again. I have you doing 2 rounds of 25. Just like with the split squats earlier. If you can't get all 25 the first time, then go ahead and let's say you get 16, drop the weight, come down from your deficit, shake your legs out a little bit, and then set yourself back up and go get your last 9. Do a little rest pause set there. But you really want to make sure you're concentrating on your butt and your hamstrings. Keep the blood flow in there the entire time. Try not to lock out as much as possible. Here we have a bridged pullover. So the bridge is referring to how your hips are going to be. So after those deadlifts, your glutes should pretty much be on fire from all that up and down motion, so they got the blood flow moving. This time you're gonna hold yourself in a bridge position to really get that isometric hold in there. And you're gonna grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell, doesn't matter which one's which. First things first, bridge your hips. So your hips are all the way up, your butt's nice and tight, weight is right above your chest, with straight-ish arms. If you have a little bend in the elbow, that's fine, but try and keep them as straight as you can. Go over, touch the ground, don't bounce it, just touch it on the ground, pull it right back over to your chest. Again, over, right to your chest. Try not to go too far. Try and bring it right to the middle, above the middle of your chest. Try not to go too far over. If you go too far over, then it loses contraction in your core and your shoulders will start to take over a little bit, which is still a great shoulder exercise, but that's not necessarily what we're doing. We're trying to work on the entire core, the hamstrings, the butt, and the abs, not necessarily as much shoulders. Again, dumbbell works just fine, kettlebell, whatever you got, slam ball works perfectly fine, whatever you can hold on to. Finisher. Grab your battle ropes and get ready. RGW, ropes gone wild. So set your timer for 3 minutes. Get your ropes out, go to work. I don't care what you do. You can do a single wave, you can do the alternating wave, you can do circles, you can do zigzags. Whatever you're doing, just keep those ropes moving for 3 minutes, all right? If you are just exhausted, if you get to the point where you just cannot move those ropes anymore, put them down, but try not to rest for more than 15 seconds, okay? Put down the ropes, but again, maybe 2, maybe 3 deep breaths, 15 seconds. That's going to be about 15 seconds. Pick them back up, get to work. Keep the timer running the entire time. You don't stop the timer. But your goal is to get as close to working for that entire 3 minutes as possible. This is your finisher. 1 round, 3 minutes. That's all you got. You worked hard today. You don't need to do multiple rounds here. This is just to end the workout with your heart rate skyrocketing and your metabolism up because, like I said in the intro, eat. You need to eat, especially that protein. Down that protein, all right? I know it's hard. If you need any tips, let me know. If you need recipes, cooking tips, snacks on the go, whatever it is, I can help you out. But good luck. Let me know how it goes.